Hello everybody, another installment today in my little mini series about iconic and important engines. This week we're looking at another Audi power plant, and this is one that was shared with the entire Volkswagen group. It's an engine that for many doesn't stand out perhaps as being particularly special, but it's one of those that is very important because if nothing else, it was ubiquitous. We are talking about the 1.8 litre turbo 20 valve. This engine was used in no fewer than 16 different vehicles across the entire VAG range. It was introduced in 1995 and saw service until 2010. Here are just a few of the cars that it saw service in. The Mark IV versions of the Polo and Golf, the Bora and Jetta saloons, the B5 Passat, the new Beetle, which in America got a version of it in the Turbo S Beetle featuring a 180 horsepower variant, the Seat Ibiza, the Seat Leon and the Seat Cordoba. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd never heard of a Cordoba before. That apparently is a slightly bigger Ibiza, which is what I thought a Leon was, but apparently I'm not. You then have the Toledo, and you even have the Exio. Remember that one? That was the Audi A4 B7, but Seatized. It was just a way of keeping that model going for a little bit longer. It also featured in the Skoda Octavia, the Skoda Superb, and the Audi A3, A4, A6, and today's feature car, the TT. There are many different versions of this engine with different engine codes relating to specific power outputs and applications. The internet is awash with advice as to which one is the best. Perhaps the most discussed is the 225 horsepower BAM version. It's got a reputation as being an engine that is very good for tuning. Or is it? Because you see, the internet loves to disagree about these things. There was also a 180 horsepower version of this engine in the TT, and you could get that also, I believe, with the front wheel drive version of this car, the 225 being exclusively with the Quattro setup. Now, people will disagree about which one is more suited for tuning. The 225 allegedly has a webbed block, which I don't know what that really means. I think maybe it's from Swaffham or something, but it must be stronger, apparently. However, people will also tell you that they've never really heard of a standard 180 block braking either. And when heavily tuned with supporting mods, these things are very strong indeed. Now, out of the gate, you can take one of these apparently up to about 300 horsepower, but there are people that say if you want to go beyond that, you might actually be better off starting off with the 180. You'll need to do more, change the turbos, injectors and things like that, because the 225 out of the box has bigger injectors and a bigger KO4 versus KO3 turbo, but the rods in the 180 are, for whatever reason, a little bit stronger, a little bit thicker and girthier, and so therefore better suited to making more power. What is interesting is that in all versions of the 1.8 turbo, you have forged pistons and crank. It's only the rods which aren't, and when you are tuning, that apparently is always the thing which is going to break first.
It is because this engine was used in so many vehicles that I deemed it worthy of inclusion in this series. For the best part of a decade, the 1.8 turbo 20 valve was the performance option in a number of very accessible cars, meaning that for a whole generation of people, it was their first introduction to the world of performance vehicles. More than that, it was also the first engine that a lot of people could tune with actual results. 15 years ago, turbo engines in regular cars just weren't anywhere near as common as they are now. So for those upgrading from small, naturally aspirated lumps, having an engine that not only produced power and torque, but could be made to produce even more so easily was a revelation.
This Quattro Sport is a rather special thing. Now, the engine might have only about another 15 horsepower above standard, and that is thanks pretty much exclusively to an ECU tune, but there are a lot of other details that set it apart. It has these Sport exclusive wheels. It has the aero front and rear from the VR6 model. It also has this, again, Sport exclusive two-tone paint job, here Misano red with this very metallic black roof. On the inside, you've got some amazing color-coded bucket seats, which are pretty stunning. You've got an Alcantara clad steering wheel, a gear lever, which I believe is also sport specific, and in the back you've got the deletion of the rear seats and a replacement little strut brace in the back for strengthening. I believe some of the exhaust and intake work may also be specific to the Sport, but more than that, you've got throughout the car a total of 49 kilos of weight saving, meaning that this car was not just a little bit quicker than the V6, it was a lot quicker. This was the only Mark 1 TT that could do 0 to 62 in under 6 seconds, half a second quicker even than the DSG V6. These were also very keenly priced. The official list price was just over £29,000 when new, and my anecdotal research suggests that that actually wasn't really that much more, if anything, than a standard 225 with some options on it. So this genuinely was a run-out special to clear the way for the then incoming Mark II. Unfortunately, this was also the end of that beautiful little 1.8, an engine that I've driven in a number of cars, including recently a Golf GTI Mark II with a heart transplant. It's a fun little combination, and so I'd invite all of you that have watched this video and enjoyed it to share in the comments your stories of your favourite car that's had this power plant, because crikey O'Reilly, there have been quite a few of them. Thanks for watching, I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.